Sometimes the problem is the methods of trying to get respect. The problem is the ways of trying to be cool and hip. The problem is the avenues of trying to be different. All of you have choices, and your choices will determine your outcome. Your outcome does not have to be negative. Your outcome can be a positive one. Your methods can lead to a good life. Your ways can lead to a rewarding life. Your avenues can lead to a successful life. You may just want a simple life, which is absolutely okay.
Most people want to make a change, but they don't stay with the change long enough until the change becomes automatic. Your life changes when you take absolute personal responsibility of the way your life looks. And if you blame it on your parents, if you blame it on your boss, if you blame it on your community, if you blame it on the economy, the more you do that, you will be practicing being spectacular at blaming. Your life changes when you look in the mirror and say, if I'm not healthy, it's because of me. Your life changes when you say, if I'm not happy in my relationships, it's because I am not selecting the right people or being the right person. Your life transforms when you say, I don't have enough money because I'm not contributing the value and doing the right things and getting really good at what I do, so I make the money. Because income reflects the value that you give to the marketplace. You can achieve the remarkable, the seemingly impossible. You can realize spectacular results. Impossible is just a belief. The impossible is a belief that the world has taught to you, and the job of a leader without a title and the job of an A player is really starting to look at your thinking, look at your core beliefs, journal about them, reflect on them, meditate on them, so you start to say, oh, these are just the programs that my parents and teachers and society have taught me, and this is not who I am. If you don't believe, if your story is you can't be world class as an athlete or as an entrepreneur or as a business builder or as a human being, then you're not going to invest in the learning, you're not going to do the work required to live that potential. It's not the most talented who wins, it's the one who capitalizes on their talents and their gifts to the fullest. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be physically gifted. It's how much of what you were born with you use and bring to life. There are a lot of people who are mediocre in their work, mediocre in their mindset, average in their heart set. They're struggling. They're not really happy. They're not really having an impact on the world. And they tell you, well, they're really, really content. And I think they're in denial. Your success is a reflection of your standards. And as you want to become more, and as you want to become a master of your craft, and as you want to change the world, and as you want to inspire all witnesses who see you, and as you want to become the most heroic version of yourself, you will be in a relentless pursuit of outright greatness. And that's where the people who have become legendary live. You don't have the life based on your genetics. You have the life based on your environments and your habits. Your success reveals your standards. Your success reveals your standards.
I will not be held hostage, waiting on people to open the door for me. I will get up and grind, create my own door, and put myself on, because I am a champion. I am hungry, dedicated, fearless, a warrior of God who believes all things are possible to him that believeth. I am disciplined. I am committed. I am dedicated, young, rich, and motivated, completely sold out, all in, 120, committed to fulfilling my God-given destiny. Nothing can stop me because I am blessed and unstoppable. And I don't just say these words out of my mouth. I say them from my spirit, the champion spirit that's on the inside of me. Mediocrity has no place in me. Average is not welcomed here. I am going one place and one place only. I got a one-way ticket from the bottom to the top. And I don't say this for fame. I don't say this for money. I don't say this for validation. I'm doing this for legacy. When I'm dead and gone, they will say there is a man right there who lived on this earth, who gave it everything he had. Failure is not an option for me. Failure does not exist in my vocabulary. For 8 years, I walked the block in a mental prison, searching for answers. Panic attacks, PTSD, fear, and anxiety consumed me. But here's what was really going on. God was molding and shaping me and preparing me for this calling. He was preparing me for the words that I'm saying to you right now. You see, the more we go through the fire, the more refined we become. Now fear and pain had stung me, had inflicted me, had tried to stomp out my destiny. But God is faithful, and he did what he promised. For he said to me, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And you see, I was bold enough to believe that. And when I went around that block for those 8 years, every day I got a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher, and a whole lot bolder. And now I am prepared for my calling. And I get behind this mic with no fear to tell you that I am still here. The enemy has not defeated me. He has not destroyed me. He has actually made me. I am a champion. I am a warrior. I am hungry, dedicated, and now I'm fearless. Wrapped with grace, to the enemy, I'm dangerous. It's not about goals. For me, it's about purpose, legacy. I'm anchored in grace. God still moves. I am a warrior, blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory.
You're not who you were a year ago. You're not who you were 5 years ago. You're not who you were last week. You're who you are now, and this is the only shit you have control over. So you gotta regulate how much you dwell on regrets of the past. You really gotta be careful. It's good to have a little. Life is strange. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of factors happening in life. But who I am now wouldn't have ever happened if I didn't f up. If I didn't make those mistakes, I wouldn't have understand the importance of friendship and kindness, and I wouldn't understand the beauty of love. I wouldn't understand the full range of it because I hadn't felt the sting.
Your greatest hater is you. Your greatest hater is you. Your greatest fear is you. You're unique. You're wonderfully made. You know, stop looking for other people to validate you. Your essence, your existence is validation enough. You're here, you're alive. Success is all in your DNA, and I would challenge you to live up to it. It is so much easier to run. It is so much easier to give up. It is so much easier to quit, give in. I dare you to believe in yourself. I dare you to be courageous enough to deal with the real you and let the world see that unique, that gifted, that special person.
You gotta fuel yourself with the f-ups. And most people get stuck in these patterns because they define themselves as a f-up, or they define themselves as a person who doesn't follow through on their ideas, or a person who doesn't pursue their real interests and loves.
There's so much value in trying one more time. There's so much value in staying in the game and polishing your skills. There's so much value in plan, do, review. Do what you do.
You have to understand how much you matter, and not just to you, how much you matter to others, right? And when you operate in your gift, not only do you liberate yourself, but you liberate others. And you force others to live a life that they never thought they could live. You be you and don't be nobody else. And you stop letting you get off the hook. You stop letting you get off the hook.
No, you have started things and you quit, and it gives you a horrible sense of regret that's made you define yourself by that. You don't have to do that. Write down what you would like to fix about your life. And then just, if you're 30 pounds overweight, you want to lose 30 pounds? Do it the right way. Go start eating vegetables, monitor your calories, write down what you eat, exercise every day, force yourself to do it.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, but I dare you to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Months ago, he said, E.T., if there's one mistake you've made, what's that one mistake you made? I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. My values are not in alignment with my dreams. He said, E.T., what do you mean by that? I said, I want to tell you a story. I got a good friend of mine he came to me and said, Eric, my marriage is not where my marriage needs to be. I need to make some adjustments. I see you and your wife. I see how much time you spend with your wife, how much time you spend with your children, and I want that. You buy your wife roses regularly. You're always taking her out to eat. Like, I'm watching you. You'd spoil her. E.T., what can I do? And so I told him what to do, and guess what he started doing, God? He started doing the exact same thing I started doing. And he said, Eric, it's not working. Like, I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but it's not working. He said, why isn't it working? I said, you know why it's not working? Because your values and your dream, you say you want a better marriage. But I told you need to iron your wife's clothes. You know what he told me? Afterwards, he said, I'm gonna be honest with you, Eric. I know, you told me to iron, you told me to wash, you told me to cook, but where I come from, he said, I'm gonna be honest, Eric, when I do that, I feel like a punk. And I said, that's why you're having a hard time doing it, because your value system says a man is not supposed to iron, a man is not supposed to cook, a man is not supposed to wash dishes. That's what your value system says. So you're doing one thing, but you're going against your own value system. The reason why I'm having such an easy time washing clothes and cooking and ironing, you know why? Because nothing is as important to me as my marriage. And I would rather be happy. I would rather be happy than to say I ain't no punk. Make me a punk. I want to be a punk. I realized that information changes situations. And so I'd rather buy a book than buy a house. Because if I buy a book, I can buy several homes. But if I buy a home and I don't have the right information, guys, okay, I'm leaving you with this. This is crazy. Can I be honest with you guys? You could burn my house down and it wouldn't bother me. Well, how do I know? I had a home that a tornado tore down in Alabama. It didn't bother me. Why? Because we have the blueprints and they can rebuild it. You could take all my money out the bank. It might hit me. Ooh. If I would tell you my lineup of speaking and our audio book, what we're making every month, we'll be all right. I can make more money. But if you take the knowledge out of my head and take the experiences that I have, I'm broke. I'm nothing. There are those of you who said, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. That you're spending more money than you're making. Why? Because you're a consumer, but you're reading all the books and you're saying everything the books are saying. But those books are not in alignment with your values. And if you're going to go to the next level, your values are going to have to change. The problem with most people is that you're not obsessed with improvement. You're obsessed with making money. You're obsessed with taking your business to the next level. And can I be honest with you guys? When you become obsessed with improvement, I will spend more time learning in Australia than I will speaking. I will spend more time sitting under people. I will spend more time with Glenn. I will spend more time with Aaron. I will spend more time learning than I will speaking in this country. I will walk away with stuff I never heard before, books I've never read before. There are those of you with phones, and every new phone that comes out, you get it. Every upgrade, you get it. Every piece of software, you get it. You are upgrading your technology, and you've not upgraded yourself.
In life, ladies and gentlemen, you've got comeback power. I don't care how low you are. I don't care what you have done. I don't care what you have experienced. I don't care how devastated your life might appear to be, the shambles it might be in. There's a power in you that can enable you to be stronger and better than anything that's out here.
You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. I let me down. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture.
You must be willing to be consistent every single day to put in the work for your dreams.
You will not get what you don't ask for. You just won't.
If you want this, if you want bling bling, if you want to buy the jets, if you want...
There's a dirty word that nobody ever wants to talk about. It's the dirtiest word in the game. Work. You have to work your fucking face off to kill it. And there is no substitute. And the only way you're gonna work 15 hours a day and pay that sacrifice to be away from your loved ones and travel and hustle is if you're doing something around a subject matter that you live and breathe and die for.
At some point in September, October, November, or just before the year ends in December, it's gonna happen, all right? So I need you to have faith. I believe in you. That's why I get up and I come out here every morning, every Monday morning, because I believe. I'm so excited because somebody looked at me when I was a high school dropout. Somebody looked at me when I was homeless and they said, I believe in you. Place in your life that you've ever been, I believe in circumstances that life don't happen. You're working, you're trying to get something going. But when you get into the fourth quarter, today, this opportunity you have, it might not be here next year. It might not be here the year after next. It might not be here the year after that. This is the only moment you got.
Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind, follow your heart. There are things that the heart can understand and feel that the mind cannot relate to. There are things that you feel, that you know in your heart of hearts, that's not logical, it's not practical, it's not realistic, but there's something in you that says, I can do this. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. I'm willing to make this happen. No excuse is acceptable. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it.
So whatever you gotta do, you do it. But I'm not about to compromise because you're inflicting pain.
Sometimes it's gonna hail on your crop and rain on your parade, so you got to get ready for that or you will be naive. That's just part of the life arrangement.
You here. He blessed you to be here. Do something.
But there's just times, sometimes you lose. That's part of life.
It's all about freedom, and the more you become you, listen to me, the more you become you, the less you got to take orders, and the more you can start giving orders. And I'm not talking about giving orders to others, I'm talking about giving orders to yourself. You can't get to the level economically where you want to be until you start investing in your mind. You're not reading books. I got guys in school talking about they want to be rappers and they don't have a dictionary. You want to be a rapper and you don't have a thesaurus? I'm challenging y'all a book a week. I'm challenging y'all to go to conferences. I'm challenging you guys to invest in your mind. Every day when you wake up, every single day when you wake up, you got two options. You can look at the clock and hit the snooze. You can look at that snooze button, boom, you can hit the snooze button and go back to bed. That's right, and do what? And dream. That's right, you can go back to sleep and dream about what you want to have. You know, watching MTV, watching BET, reading magazines, and dream about what you want to be. Right there with your comfortable pillow, you dreaming about what you want to be. Or you can look at that snooze button, kick that clock, and get up and go pursue your dreams.
If you constantly remind yourself, after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success. Yes. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Children are acting like they have good sense.
It's easy. If you go to a doctor, they say, oh, you're doing real good. I'll see you next year. It's easy to have faith then. Let me tell you when it's really tough to have faith. When you lose your job, when you lose your retirement, when you go to the doctor and they look at you and say, you have cancer. Cancer is the most feared word in 7 different languages. That's when it's tough to have faith then. And that's when you need to call on your faith then. They said faith is the oil that takes the friction out of living. That's when you need to believe in yourself then and judge not possible that you can live your dream.
So that brings me to the final step, that it's necessary for us to begin to break through. Let's say a friend of mine who runs a marathon, and he says, when he's running the 26-mile marathon, he said, let's say that hypothetically, that 18th mile is the wall. He said, on in, and you know it's there. You know, announced to the congregation, he's bringing his doctor up. The doctor is going to say that we felt we could keep it in remission. It's out of remission, and he doesn't have much time left. And whatever words you want to say to Jack that you would say if he had made his transition, speak those words now. Well, we were shocked and we were somewhat stunned until Jack got there. They brought him in a wheelchair, and boy, was he courageous, and he had a strong smile, and they helped him up the steps, and he sat behind the podium, and each of us got up and we said a few things about Jack and the impact that he made on our lives. And he said, the doctor, after announcing that Jack didn't have long, he says, doctor, he said, I accept what you say, but it's possible that does not have to be the case. But if it is, I will enjoy life to the very last breath I take, even the chemotherapy. I will enjoy that. And Jack did, ladies and gentlemen. And when they said that all of his vital organs were failing, they called his family and his close church staff to the hospital and said he's dying. And so they came and they all gathered in the room. And Jack at that time was unconscious. And he gained consciousness. And he looked at them and he said, well, what strength he had, he said, I want to thank you all for being here. You've been a great staff to me. He looked at his sons, his daughter, he said, you've been a great family. He said, don't feel sorry for me. He said, I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to the next adventure. And he sat there for a little while, laid there, and he closed his eyes, and he lost consciousness. About an hour and a half later, he opened his eyes, and he looked at them, he said, this is embarrassing, I'm not dead yet. They were laughing through their tears. They said, Jack, you are a character. He said, hey, I hate giving up this kind of control. So they predicted that Jack would die at the end of February. And then on the 2nd, they said, he won't see the light of day. He will be dead by morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack died on March 4th. And we believe that even in his dying, Jack sent his congregation a message that I want to give to you with his permission. March 4th is the day he died, and we believe Jack was saying, March 4th. While other people are giving up, feeling like victims, feeling powerless, becoming negative, turning on each other rather than to each other, feeling that they can't make it. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind with the mindset of that it's possible that we can save this generation. It's possible that we can create new industries, a new economy. It's possible that I can find a new profession, a new job. It's possible I can create a new life. And it's necessary that I become actively involved in becoming a positive force in my life and on the planet. And it's me, yes, it's you, it's all of us, pulling together, working together to create this brand new future. and it's going to be hard. Easy is not an option. But if it's hard, we will do it hard. Whatever is required to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And it's worth it, yes. It's worth whatever we have to do. And once we know that, it is done. It is done.
Morning to get you going, to make you believe that you could overcome that situation that you're dealing with all the time. I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
What I'm doing right now, the music I'm dropping, I want it. I want the #1 spot. I will have it. You know, this is what I'm going for, and I want to beat the press. I want to beat, you know, anybody that ever like tried to make me out to be just so crazy and so this and so that. Thank you. You're just adding to the excitement. You're giving me stuff to write about. I want
rules that society is set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem.
If I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm gonna go for it. You know?
P. Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Michael T. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
Don't listen to the naysayers. Because there's always people out there that will tell you that you will not be able to do that, forget it, it's a stupid dream that you have, or a crazy vision and those. Don't listen to the naysayers. The #1 thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go. The key thing is that we know where we're going, and that you're very passionate about that, that you see it always in front of you, the goal. And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. You know, we don't achieve big things by accident. So shoot for the top, shoot for the sky. The other thing is that you got to work your butt off. If you think that you're gonna go and accomplish something really special and be the best in anything in the world, and you think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, you know, sometimes make a lot of sacrifices. Notice, if you're not willing to work hard, forget about it. So there's another rule that is very important. I think another one is just don't be afraid to fail. Because if you're afraid to fail, then you're always holding yourself back because you're afraid that if you go all out, you may fail. Well, in weightlifting, we learned that very quickly. The only way you could break a record is if you're willing to fail. That's when you put on more weight. You try it, sometimes you would not be able to lift it, which has happened to me many times, but eventually, when you train hard enough, you will lift it. So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, how far can you fall?
Me in community college, money is dry, and I was dealing with this girl, and this chick, she was like, you know what you should do? You should start dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
What was the stripper name?
Huh? What was gonna be my stripper name?
Yes.
We didn't get that far.
Oh, okay.
We didn't get. We got far enough for me to think about a routine that I should do. Like, we got far enough for her to give me advice on a routine, and she got some outfits. And